train is winding low. I'm so lonesome I could cry.
Hey Waylon, why don't you tell us about a real bonehead move you made back when you were building the Rockabilly?
Well, I had a lot of compliments on these wheels when I had them mocked up over there. Yeah, they're cool looking, but they're not any good. Spokes are all beat up and bent and rusty and rotten, and I wouldn't trust them to drive them. Now, at one time I had a nice set. These came with my 32 Chevy, my Rockabilly. That's what it would have had on it originally, with those wire spokes. 6-hole Chevrolet, and I had out of all of them that I got, I think there was 5 of them came with that truck, and I found 2 that were good ones, and I was going to run them on the front. And here's one of them. You know, they had spokes in them that were nice and no rot, no rust. And I went to town one day. This was 9 years ago when I was building that Rockabilly. I couldn't see that my tailgate was down. I forgot my tailgate was down, and these wheels were laying on the tailgate. So I went to town and I lost one.
Are you stupid or something?
One of them fell off somewhere, so I'm sure it's yard art in somebody's flower garden right now. I wished I could get my hands on the guy that built this rig. Dirty bugger. He got some wires that have kind of worked loose on the starter, but not kind of. They just have. In order to get them tight, I'm going to have to pull the header loose, at least loosen it and get it back. I think it comes out from this way, from the top anyway, but yeah, what a pain, you know. Things are just tight in there. That's all right. Well, that wasn't so bad. Just 3 bolts down there where it goes into the pipe, and then 8 little bolts up here on top. Bolts to the head. That wasn't bad at all. You know, I've spent a lot of afternoons doing worse things, worse jobs than this. Now that starter's totally exposed. Man, I can get to it and tighten everything up, and test it, and see if she spins over. I wasn't going to mess with this today, but my bookkeeper called. She comes up every other Friday, gets things caught up, and she said she got in a little accident last week or this week sometime, I guess, and well, she wanted to know if she could bring her husband with her and maybe put her car on the lift. I don't know what we're going to look at, but of course, me, I said, oh sure, you know, no problem. And then I came out to start this thing to drive it out of here, and it wouldn't spin over. So, but I'm going to fix that. I'm going to take care of that. Take care of that right now. Spent about half my morning waiting to see a doctor. I wore out 3 doctors now. Retired them or killed them. I don't know what's happened to them, but had to get a new one. Had to break in another, start breaking in another one. Oh, boy. She looks about 20. I'm sure she's 30-something, but I don't know. Last thing I need is a pregnant woman in my life. Okay, I talked in the last video a little bit about doing some work on this Doje'llac. You know, this thing never did overheat. I talked about how it did not overheat, but it got hotter than I really want for it to. By the time I climbed this mountain to my house, see, I come from 800 feet elevation up to 2370 in 5 miles, and that's, if that was average, that's 6% grade, but it's way more than that the last mile to my house. So by the time I get home, it's just warmer than I want it to be. It never does boil over, but I want, you know, I'm just old school. I want everything to run 212 or less, and you know, it gets warmer than that, but of course it's under pressure. It's okay, it doesn't get hot enough to do damage, but it's just not how I want it. So I'm making it how I want it, I think. But I discovered that my 3-inch exhaust pipe here it heats up my return pipe to the engine from the radiator somewhat. I don't know how much, but what I did was I went and built myself a 3.5 inch heat shield that runs the full length of that, 60 inches, all the way back for both pipes. And yeah, I don't know anything about building cars, but I sure am having a good time, you know. And I make mistakes and I learn, and I like making my own mistakes, you know, and figuring things out. So it's all part of the process. Making discoveries and adapting, you know. So I'm doing this because of this. I want to get going on this thing here. I want to get going on this build. I want to have this thing sitting in a frame by late spring, and before I can do that, I've got to get this thing wrapped up. So what I'm about to do at the moment is I'm taking this off. This is all mocked up, but I'm going to take this down and I'm going to wrap my 3-inch exhaust with header wrap, and that should help it out a little bit. I think everything I do helps it a little bit. Everything I've done as far as the coolant and water wetter and the high flow water pump and just everything I do helps just a little. So maybe this will help a little bit too. Well, now that's kind of cool looking, don't you think? First time I ever used any of that header wrap. Never had any headers to wrap very much, or none that needed it. So yeah, got that all spiraled on there, and it's temporarily held in place with zip ties, of course. And I'm going into town tomorrow. Got to go look at a grafting job tomorrow, so I will stop and pick up some clamps to hold that on, some radiator hose clamps, some big ones. All right, I'm gonna put the shield on, and I'll get on to wrapping this other side. Yeah. We'll pump him up there significantly. Hopefully he's got some fuel in the bowl. Give him some pretty good choke, a fair amount of choke. I'm gonna back that down just a couple of degrees there, yeah. Okay, Jimmy, what have you got, man? What have you got for us? Much choke. Gave him a little too much choke. Oh, that's just, listen to that. Just smooth as a baby's butt, I tell you. Nice. Okay, that should keep some of the heat off of my return pipe from the radiator back to the engine. Okay, on to the next project. I've got to do some rewiring where my wire loom got kind of smashed, where I had it temporarily mounted. Didn't work out very well. So I'm going to get on to that. Get this thing buttoned up, get it out of here.
Well, ain't this a revolting development? That can't be good. Oh, Mickey, you got the cheese again, didn't you? Yes, sir. I like it.
kind of a dreary old day, isn't it? You get a dreary old, foggy old, socked-in day like this, you know, a fella needs something to kind of lift his spirits a little bit. Well, just happen to have the thing. Couple of squirts, maybe 3. Yeah, I know. Made it backfire right beside that gas can. What do you think about that? Nighttime you can see the point fires. Whew. Kind of fogged it up in here. Kind of smoked it up in here a little bit. Ah, but I love it. I love the smell of it. I love the feel of it. I love the sound of it. I just can't wait. Can't wait to get going on that. But got to wrap this one up first, and I'm getting there. I've made a lot of progress, made some changes, kind of rearranged the furniture a little bit. So I'm putting it back together. But it's awesome. It don't overheat anymore. Well, it never did overheat. I've talked about that. If you mention that it runs hotter than you'd like for it to, then everybody says, oh, it's overheating, got overheating problems. Well, no, it don't overheat. It just, it overwarms. It gets warmer than I want it to. But not anymore. I cured that. Yes, sir. Okay. I think that's about enough. Let's see, I'm going to be out on the road next week looking at grafting jobs.
And now a word from our sponsor. Wait a minute. I don't have any sponsors.
And don't forget to go to MrHeavyChevy.com where you can become the proud owner of a hoodie such as I'm wearing right now that says, who the heck is Mr. Heavy Chevy? And they got all kinds of things, shorts and t-shirts and other things like that. And you can buy some of Mrs. Heavy Chevy's fine artwork. You know, I'm honored to own a piece of her art, and she's doing something that I wish I'd have done 150 years ago. She labels all of her art pieces. She puts a number on it, and I happen to own number 5. She sent that to me because she said that I got her started. She saw some of my yard art, my videos, and she was intrigued and began learning how to weld and make her own yard art. And as a thank you for that, she sent me, I mean, I didn't really have that much to do with it. She just saw something I built, but she had that in her anyway. She's an artistic person. So, but as a thank you, she sent me this little art piece, and I'll show it to you sometime. But it has number 5 on it. And I wish I'd have done that because I'd have been up to about number 5,298 by now. Anyway, go to MrHeavyChevy.com. Get you one of these. Cool? Well, I got my, I think these are probably 4-inch clamps, but I got 3-inch exhaust on this thing. So what I'm doing tonight is I'm putting these clamps on my header wrap. And I put 2 on each end just to hold her down real solid, you know. But what's going on here is, man, take a look at this. I got both doors open to the shop tonight, and I just went and checked. It's 50 degrees out there. There's a Chinook wind blowing. It's going to just take the snow away, and if I can get Kerwood to come up and help me tomorrow, I think I'll plant taters tomorrow. This is what, January 30th or 31st or something like that. I'm not sure. But let's see. I had some questions. I had some people questions. You know, they send me questions sometimes, and one of them questions, or several of them, was how come you took your video down? Because I put a video up for a while and it had about 3,000 or 4,000 hits, not too many, and I took it down. And there's sometimes different reasons that I take a video down. Sometimes I'll put it up and then watch it back, and I just don't like it. You know, maybe it's too long. Maybe it's just too much rambling on. You know, and you know, I like it when I can have some action, like engines starting and cold starts and dragging stuff home and things like that. But rambling on like I'm doing right now, not a good video. But this is kind of important, well, to me. So why I take videos down sometimes. It happens from time to time, not a whole lot, but like I said, I might just take it down because I don't like it. But then there's just can be some other reasons. And that one video that I put up, one before last, so now it's the last on account of the one last I took down, so it makes that one rotate up to last again. Me and YouTube got into an argument. See, YouTube's got these little things called algorithms, and they're little bitty things with great big ears, and little bitty creatures, and they kind of look like a cross between a gremlin and a Furby. And there's thousands and thousands of them running around inside YouTube to hear. They're listening. They're listening for stuff, you know. And you know, you can get on there and you can cuss and swear on YouTube and filth this and foul that, you know. And that's all fine. The Furbies and the algorithms, they just they go ahead eating their dinner or smoking their cigars or drinking their whiskey, whatever they're doing. But if you say funeral home, boy, they all start to looking around, looking at each other and listening, and they go, "Oh no, you can't say that. You can't say funeral home. Oh no." So they run off and they all gather up and they huddle up together and they discuss it and they go, "No, we gotta kick this upstairs." So they take it to a memo to the big boss at YouTube, and what he'll do is he'll say, "Well, all my algorithms, they got together and they told me that, Ken, they said that you put up a video and the name of it was called Burnout at the Funeral Home. Well, we just can't have that. That's not suitable for all advertisers. No. You might get a little bit of advertising on there, but it's not suitable for everybody." Well, now you can contest that and you can ask it to be viewed visually. But you only get one shot at that. Normally, I mean, that's what they tell you. And if they say, no, it's a no-go, then you don't get to contest it again, but you can take it down, and you can rename it, and you can put it back up again. And that's what I did. And they finally, you know, they thought, well, I guess it's okay, or they didn't see it or something, but it was the same video. It didn't change any wording, just changed the title from Burnout at the Funeral Home. Well, then when they approved it for advertising, I went and changed the name back to what it was. What I changed it to, a father's request or dad request to Burnout, something like that. Well, after they decided that was okay, I went in behind their backs and I didn't tell no algorithms or nothing. And I went in there and I changed the name back to Burnout at the Funeral Home, which is what I intended it to be in the first place. And that went on fine and well for a while, and but that was the second time I'd loaded it, and I didn't want to take it down and reload it again if anything happened. So I just kind of, they did flag it again. They said, no, you know, Ken, we told you once before, you can't say funeral home. That's a bad thing. The algorithms don't like it, so they flagged it again, and that don't mean you're in trouble, or it's not exactly flagged. That's not the right word. They just disapproved of it, and they would not said it was not suitable for all advertisers. So I left it alone, and then here the other day I got an email out of the blue and says, well, congratulations, your YouTube video has been approved for all advertisers. So man, I didn't do anything. I just left it like it was. So somebody apparently, they got a real person in there to actually watch it. Of course, the burnout was a tribute to the guy's father, who had requested that happen when he passed on. He wanted his kids to bring his car to the funeral home and do a burnout. So I guess somebody with a heart or a soul somewhere deep down watched it and decided there ain't nothing wrong with this. And I've had that happen time and time again when it's just an innocent video, and there's a whole lot worse videos out there, but it's all due to them little algorithms. They're the ones that's causing all the trouble. Just want you to know that right now.
Emotive? Will it be folkloric? Will it be sophomoric? I can hardly wait, man!
Go rest high on that mountain. Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven shouting, love for the Father and the Son, love for the Father and the Son.
Well, that's about it for now. Just does my heart good to fire up these old engines. Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one, and I appreciate you.